Alright, what's up guys, and welcome back to another map review. Today we're going to be taking a look at DE Contact, made by our friend Geno, which we reviewed a couple of his previous maps in the past, along with Jay from Chicago, Karthoum, bman, and Dredile. Alright, so the sort of idea of this one takes place sort of in the southwest in the Canyon Vista, with a mysterious hangar. Artists, hippies, and Ufologists slowly added to the town over the years while studying the stars in what many call the last free place. Their motto, the truth is out there. So I kind of like that sort of conspiracy theory sort of theme going on there. So, and right off the bat, you can see sort of the attention to detail already showing through. Very rusty, very out in the outskirts in the Midwest. Here we got all the satellites and stuff like that, along with the canyon, which you'll see later on. So one little bug, I guess you can look into, is that sometimes when you drop the weapons, they kind of get stuck behind these yellow pieces of metal. So that might be something that you would want to turn off no collide for, because it might be hidden, you know, if you were to toss your gun, it's completely gone in there. So just a little thing to keep in mind. But starting in there, something that's pretty unique about this one is that they designed it where A site sits in the middle of the map, B is to the left of that, and then the mid is sort of on the outside of it. So it's pretty interesting. It's the idea of a faster rotate. So right off the bat, let's just go to the left here towards the B site. But as you can see, it says B is this way, but you can see that A is marked as well and B. So you already have the choice of splitting up, and you could decide at this moment if you want to go A or B. So just for continuity, I'll go to the B site. And again, I really like the theming of this. I like all the little attention to detail. It just has a lot of life to it. And again, a lot of the new maps have really stepped up their game. Really cool looking, almost reminding me almost of Borderlands or Mad Max, something like that. So very cool. So if you go to the left here, you know, you're going to want to be clear in this corner. There may already be a CT here as well, if I'm not mistaken. But what you can do is kind of boost here and clear the corner if they're really up close. So as you proceed forward, and here we go, we got more of the little conspiracy theory thing going on here, the cult-like behavior, if you will. So the other path takes you to this one, so you'll either be peeking from here or from here. So they're kind of the same thing, honestly, but obviously this is a lot more protected than that, as you're just straight dry peeking it. So as you come out onto the site, you're going to want to be wary of this angle and this angle. Those are going to be the two main things, along with this one. So you have three separate angles to look at, so you're definitely going to want to smoke this off for sure. So that's one down, and if you can, I would use a smoke for this side as well. So you got all that covered, and come here and plant the bomb. Someone's definitely to be watching this, along with going over here. And I like this little space here, which the CTs are definitely going to have, though. Once they've killed that, you can actually have multiple angles to look at. The CTs are going to be coming from there. So in terms of post-plant, you can plant right here in the middle, you know, easily, real fast, and then just have teammates fall back here. It's going to be extremely hard to cover. Of course, you can smoke this section off, and then they're just spamming, but I mean, it's very clear and open where they are. There's nothing in the way, there's no banners or anything. So, obviously, if you are smoked off, you can just have that ping and spam through the smoke, and I think you're going to get them. So that's going to be very strong. And I'm sure there's different little things you can do here with the molly without even having to peek fully. You could probably do that. That was a bad example, but and let alone, I'm sure there's stuff you can do from back here. If you really want to start getting sweaty, you can do that. So I really like that. In addition to that, you could actually peek from this angle as well. So if the CTs weren't already going to be here, once you take cover of this, you can actually start moving up towards the site, and this is going to be definitely a thorn on the CT side for sure. You can be looking at this angle and this angle as well without being totally exposed from there, or from here, honestly, as well, for the CT's holding. So a lot of different opportunities. I don't know if it's too many things to cover, too many things to clear, but I do like it, and I really like the idea of being able to use your environment to kind of move around. You can even help smoke stuff or molly stuff, even from here, you know? I perfectly threw that. That was unintentional, but we'll take it. Something like that would be perfect. And once you start kind of moving up, you can kind of help clear this angle as well, and then start taking this. And I like that this kind of dips in, because it allows the CTs to not only have an angle, but as the T, you know, you're able to come in here and kind of hide in there as well. They're not going to see you until they get to this angle. So I really like that. I'm not going to look at this section because, you know, it's the same thing. Alright, so back up here, we have the security unit. And as you can see, it's been graffitied on. I kind of like this neon sign. Gives it a little bit of a life as well, some personality. And I like this little caged window here where you can actually take a look. And you can help your teammates actually from up here. So this is going to be super strong. CTs are not going to want to be pushing this unless they're in this corner right here. But yeah, that's definitely not something that they want to be doing. So if you want to do a quick dip to the A site, you can do that and just take a right here. Go up here, you have the little hazmat suits and stuff like that. Or just regular suits, lab suits, whatever. So A, continuing, and just like that, here we are. Boom. That simple. Already on the A site. So there's a lot of different ways to get to the A site, so before I hop into that, let's go over there. Alright, so going back to spawn, taking a left, this is the official way to get there. These don't open up. Broken, absolutely broken map. Kidding, of course. So, you know, going to A site, you can just take a left here, go straight, and here we are where we just were, and boom. You're attacking the A site. Or you can continue straight, and this is where sort of the mid area comes into play. So at first I was a little confused, but this is how it's designed, where the mid is on the right side and the two sites are right next to each other, which is really unique. I like creative ideas like that. I'm really curious to see how it plays. So remember the Grand Canyon we were talking about? Well, here it is in all its glory. But if you want to continue this way, you're gonna have to make a leap of faith here and jump around there. It's an easy jump, but if you're not paying attention, it's going to end up like vertigo all the way down at the bottom. So this is going to help you sort of clear this upper section where the CTs are going to be, or this angle right here. If you really want to start playing dicey, you can do that. And then jump over here as well. So this whole section is definitely going to be a battle. The CTs are going to be there, there, and it gives you a little couple of blocks to stand behind. This reminds me of 1.6. This map sort of almost has a vintage look to it, which I really like. But yeah, this is going to give you multiple options of shooting mid. It's going to be the Wild West in this area for sure. So you kind of come down here and continue pushing forward. You know, I'm sure you can boost up there. I haven't tried. It might not be tall enough to jump there, but yeah, something to consider. And you can actually work around this concrete block. Again, this is all going to be compromised. And two different ways here. You can continue straight. This is going to be for the CTs as well. Along with the Ts, if you can make it to this section, you can sort of slowly make your way. Nice little picture there. Make your way over here without getting spotted from people looking up there. So you can continue this way and just continue straight. And boom, here you are once again on the other side of the A site, just like that. So there's one more way to get to the A site. And that is if instead of going straight here, you actually wrap around up here. And boom, here you are up at the scaffolding. So yeah, we have a lot of different ways to get to the A site. Can you jump up here? You can jump up here. Wow, there's a ladder even. I just realized that. Small ladder, though. You can't really get to it from here, but yeah, you can go up here, but no, this is several different ways to get to it. So pretty cool. So a lot of different post-plant potential. So even having, you know, a plant right here, have a guy up there looking. And if your control of both mid and people come from main, this section over here, yeah, it's going to be extremely hard for the CTs to cover this. But it's wide open. There's a lot of space as well. You can see how much they decided to add some extra space in there. You know, you want to be able to have options, and you can have smoke that, you could smoke that, and just make your way on the site. Obviously, CTs might have control of that. If you guys didn't get mid control, you're gonna have to be worrying about that, but you're in luck as you can actually plant here safely without getting shot from up there. So I love when maps have these little things in the way, these little blocks where it does allow you a safe plant. You don't have to be worrying about that stuff. Really good design with this, actually. Hopefully it's not too bulky, but I do like it. Do this pizza spin. But yeah, I really like that. And then you can plant again for main if you want, or up there if you have people over there. And this is going to be a prime spot to hold. You're totally blocked from this angle, so you basically only have to hold this angle right here for most of the time being, or up there. So this is definitely going to be the spot, but it's a one and done. Once they know you're there, yeah, you're going to be mollied. You're going to the whole 9 yards. So yeah, and likewise, CTs can just smoke this off, and boom, mid is or main is done for, and go for the defuse or whatnot, and hold angles and stuff like that. So hopefully I didn't miss anything on the A site, but that's kind of what we're working with as well. And another thing you could do as a T, if you do take control of this whole section, is you can actually hop on this and hold from here as well. So I could see this being a CT side thing, but a T side, you can actually jump up here and hold from here as well. So you really have so many different options, and you can see windows here where if you want, you can throw grenades and flashbangs and all that good stuff. So anyways, let's go to the CT side. Alright, so here we are on the CT side, and look at this. Look what we got here. The 3 aliens worshipping in the peace sign. Again, really like this unique idea. Not only is the whole idea of the map cool, but I think the theming is cool as well. So let's start on the A side. So you're gonna come up here, and this is gonna be the midsection. Obviously, for all intents and purposes, like I said, the CTs are gonna have this. So you can just immediately come here, and you're on the site, ready to go, mollying what you need to. They're coming, you hear them coming, molly that, smoke it, whole 9 yards. So, and you're definitely going to want to be holding from here. You can actually also hold with an op as well. So that's going to be something. Obviously, you should probably hold from scaffolding up there, but if you really want, you know, you can hold from there. And this can also be a good spot to be holding. But I could definitely see the CTs holding from sight. They have a lot of things going for them. This headshot angle, get a kill, fall back, just work around this pole here. You know, don't take that the wrong way. And just be right and left here. And just like the T's can hold this at post plant, the CTs are definitely going to be holding from here. This is a no-brainer. This might even be something you molly, honestly, right off the bat, without even peeking it, doing something like that. Or bounce it off, rather, the top here. I don't know where that went. I don't know where the molly's going. I'm trying to bounce it off, but you get the idea. You know, you're trying to molly this whole section off, because they're definitely going to be there. But back here, instead of going straight to the A site, again, like I said, you can either walk up to mid, which is very odd to call this mid, but it is. It is mid. Can you make this jump? I wonder. Alright, this is attempt number 2. You can. You can make this jump. Wow, that's crazy. Can you make that jump? Can you make this jump? I messed it up. I really think you can get up there, actually, in terms of scaffolding. That's funny. That's pretty funny. But going back up here, I like this little thing here. I mean, you're totally going to be exposed if you're there, but yeah, so you're going to be watching this. The CTs, this would be great, honestly, spot for an op. Holding this angle right here. Anybody tries to go over there, you got them, and oh, they're coming A. Boom, here you are. Already perfectly looking at this angle. And you can have a teammate there, so you're good. But boom, looking over there and over here as well. Even over here, you know? And if you want, obviously you hear them coming, molly it real fast. And just focus on that angle. So, and like I said before, you can either come down here as well. This area might not be super necessary, I feel. Maybe this intersection. I get it. It's really good for sort of escaping, but this section might be an extra section that's not needed, but possibly I'll have to see it more in play to make that judgment. But yeah, but anyways, from here you can, you know, obviously you'll be picking the battles with the T's, and you're gonna want to be hoping they don't come in this area, because yeah, it's gonna be hard to get them as well. But yeah, it's gonna be a big brawl there, but again, you can go up there scaffolding. You'll be holding from here, and the CTs obviously will have this section. And if you want to do a quick rotate, drop down here and get to the B site. So we're kind of more in the underground section of it. Continue this way, and you can make it up again back into the A site from here. Again, the T's are going to be coming from over there. So if you do need to rotate quickly, this is what the map's all about. You can actually come here and help hold from this side as well. Obviously, do the molly and whole 9 yards coming from there. And if they've taken mid control, you're kind of going to be screwed, but, you know. And then, continuing straight this way, what happened over here? Looking like something out of The Shining, but instead of going left up there, you can actually take a right here to the B site, and boom, here you are. This is where they're going to be coming from. This is where you basically rotate from mid all the way to B. And here you are in that little pocket area I was talking about. And you're going to want to be holding from here. This is going to be very strong, especially for planting and all that. You do have a lot of angles to look at and a lot of cover as well, which is very nice. And honestly, you could probably just take this section too. Even hit them with a little jump peek, you know? Be checking it out, see what's going on. You can also probably use this little space to molly the section as well. So a lot of things you could do here with this little section to stop the T's as well. And honestly, I didn't think that this is probably going to be more used by the CTs until the T's take control of it. So yeah, that's going to be very important to focus on. Alright, so going to B, you know, you can go take a right down there, or you can go straight ahead. I really like this, actually. And if you do change your mind, you can just go back to A over there. But this looked like something out of some backstage sort of thing from a play or something with the lights. There should be a mirror there. We got all the cleaning supplies. Love the attention to detail. Really, really well done. But you can immediately take a right down here, fall, and boom, here you are coming from this little door we were talking about. Yeah, this is the door straight from CT spawn. And you can come over here and be checking it out, even get closer, even hold right here. To be a one and done, but very strong as well, corner to be holding people coming. Because just kind of like overpassing away where they are coming from, your line of sight covers everything. Unless they're coming from behind, you are good to go here. They're going to come this way no matter what. They have to cross this line in some way, whether they want to come here or they want to come here. So, and their line of sight's going to be looking here. So having somebody here, maybe for one round, would be perfect as well, because they're checking this angle, you know, where people are going to be checking, and here as well, another spot. So a lot of angles to be covering for the CTs and the T's, honestly. And finally, as you can imagine, the last little spot here is taking a right instead of going straight, and of course that goes to exactly where we were already looking at, which is up here. And I like that they have this elevated to give you a little bit more edge as well. You know, you have options here in terms of retaking, in terms of holding. You can sort of look over the smoke if they do have one. You know, let's say a smoke's landed there. I really like the idea that they do actually let you look over it as well, because it's going to be very hard. I could see this being T-sided or CT-sided. It's hard to tell because honestly, it's so fast moving, quick rotates on both ends that I could see it being either side. But yeah, I like the little different dimensions of it, and I do really like the theming. So all in all, a really cool map to check out. I'm going to put the link in the description, of course, below, so you can download it, show it some love. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. Really cool map. I actually would love to see this type of map be in the game, just as something experimental. See it in play as well, sort of more focused on quick rotations and both sites close to each other rather than the typical A, mid, B. This is A, B next to each other with mid on the outside. It's pretty interesting. So Excellent job, group. And I will catch you on the next one. Please be sure to hit that subscribe button if you want to see more map reviews just like this.